Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good day. This video is briefing about your mini project. Before I start explain about your mini project, so let's check. Okay, we check about the our course informations. Okay, as we know that one of the coursework mark is contributed by the mini project. Okay, let's go to the last page there. Okay, I assume that you learned about this one where we have some mini project or we call as a CDIO group design project which contribute 20 mark. Okay, but in this 20 mark, 5 mark will be contributed by peer assessment that I will conduct later after we have finished all the mini project. Then I will do some peer assessment whereby you need to access your teammate. So 5 mark 5 mark is contributed by the peer assessment, while another remaining 15 mark it's for your project, which is consists of presentation, report, and some demonstration. Okay, now I would like to explain how to do the mini project. Okay, which is include the presentation, report, and demonstration. So I have released some informations there in your e-learning. Okay, if you go to your e-learning, you go to the end of the page. Okay, go to the end of the page. Okay, you will find there's a section there. I call it mini project section. This is where I put all information related to your mini project. So the question is, the project must contain, okay, this is some spec of your project. Okay, what you need to do is you need to do a project that must contain with the following specification. Number one, it should be a real-time problem or challenge for application related to biomedical engineering, healthcare, rehabilitation, assistive, and or sport technology. Means that you must do project that related to this aforementioned field. Okay, there's a biomedical, it can be biomedical, it can be healthcare, it can be rehabilitation, or it can also be assistive technology or sport technology. And in your project, you must use what we call as Arduino Uno board. And of course, this because this is the online learning or online class, then in order for you to do this project, of course you cannot do it physically. So that's why we will introduce to with one simulator called Tinkercad. Okay, you need to do your project with Arduino board, which is one of the board can be simulated using this Tinkercad. And then the third spec is that the application should be at least consist of 2 input ports and 2 output ports. And then number 4 is the application should at least use 1 input port from the sensor and 1 output port for the display purpose. Okay, the issue number 3 and number 4, in order for you to understand what is the input port and output port, then you need to go through this video lecture series. Okay, I provide 2 video lecture series number 1 and series number 2. So I assume you can finish this video lecture series in 2 weeks. Okay, meaning that series 1 week 1 week, and series 2 is your second week. So and again, you must start this mini project after your semester break. Okay, meaning that is a week 7. Okay, I assume that's week 7. So week 7 you must finish, go through this series number 1, and then week number 8 you must go for series number 2. And at the same time, while you learning about the Arduino, okay, C programming for Arduino, where that is where you will learn about how to do some simulation with Tinkercad. Okay, in that 2 week, at the same time, okay, instead of just go through this video, you also need to prepare the proposal slide. Okay, because in week 9, which is the third week of your mini project, okay, week 9, you need to submit a proposal slide and video presentation. So you need to prepare some video presentation which is not more than a 15-minute duration, where you need to come up with some proposal what project you want to do, which is the the term is related to biomedical engineering, healthcare, rehabilitation, assistive or sport technology. You can choose one of it. Okay, so in order for you to understand how to prepare your proposal slide, okay, or and your video presentation or video proposal presentation, then I give some guide here. So if you check this guide here, okay, I just show you some guide here. Okay, for project proposal guideline. Actually, this is guideline as well as a rubric for the proposal. Okay, the project consists of two sections. Number one is a proposal. Another one is the final project. For proposal, you need to provide a proposal slide as well as video presentation that you present this slide, where the duration should not more than 15 minutes. And after that, you need to continue your project, doing your project, and then at the end of the this project, you need to provide a final report. Okay, later I will discuss about the final report. So let's see about this proposal first. Okay, for the project proposal guideline, I give some guideline that if you download this one, this is the guideline. Okay, this is the guideline for preparing your proposal. Again, like I said, in this one, I don't want you to provide any report. What you need to do is you need to prepare the slide, and then you need to record your presentation, meaning that you use that slide to present and you need to record that video, and that video duration should not more than 15 minutes. So what you need to have in your project proposal, okay, again, this is guideline as well as rubric. Okay, the mark is the full mark for this one is 10 marks. So in slide presentation there, you must present the chapter 1, which is consists of introduction, or that is also considered as a conceive. Okay, what is meaning of by conceive is the way to find the idea to do some innovation, meaning that during the introduction you need to come up with finding some problem, and that problem you need to solve. Okay, that you come up with idea that how to solve that problem, again by using the Arduino board. So in this part, okay, you need to prepare the slide where it consists of chapter 1, so introduction. And introduction, you should have some background. Again, you can see that I give the mark there, so as a guideline, so that is considered as our rubric. So you have a project background. In the project background, you have a statistic or current trend related with your project, means that you need to find out the existing problem. Okay, do some what are the, and in order to find the problem, there's a two way to find it. One is to do a comprehensive literature review, means that you need to read or you need to find to the internet what the existing problem in biomedical or assistive technology or healthcare and so on that you want to tackle on. And then you can also conduct some interview if you find out there's the person that you can interview in order for you to find the problem. That is that is what is meant by a conceive process. Okay, we want to find any problem, any practical problem, and then from that practical problem you come up with the analysis, and then you can list up all the current trend before that related to what you want to solve. And then project motivation is actually you highlight the problems, the existing one. You have list up all the existing work, and you come out you provide the existing limitation or problem or existing work. And then this is the way, okay, to show that, okay, what is, once you highlight all the existing work problem, then that is the way to to market your project, meaning that that is the way that you want to highlight what you want to solve. Okay, so that is a project motivation. And then you after that you do a project objective. Okay, of course, what is the objective of your project? Of course, to solve what have been list in this uh, what a problem that you want to solve once you list all the problems that related to the existing work in this project motivation. So you have some project, then that project, your project will solve that limitation or that problem, and of course they must come up with objective, and then you come up with the scope. Of course, there's a lot of problems that related to what we have here: biomedical engineering, healthcare, and so on. But try to find, again, the tips, try to find some problem where you can solve it by using the Arduino Uno board. Okay, the Arduino board. Again, our rules there, you need to come up with one project. At least you must use the Arduino Uno. Okay, again, you must relate with this one. Okay, the project must related to biomedical as well, all the list up uh, fields here, and then that project also can be solved with Arduino Uno. And at least that project must have two input port and two output port, and in this two input port and two output port, one input port must come from the sensor, and another one output port must come from the display screen. Okay, so again, later you will find out there's a lot of problem can be solved, a real practical problem or real problem you must solve. But please find the problems that can be solved by this condition. Okay, there's, of course, that you must be realistic. Okay, there's a lot of problem, there's also big problem. Of course, that big problem cannot be solved by what we have here, because we have a limitation in technology. So what we have is Arduino Uno. So please find some project that can be solved by three condition here. Okay, number 2, 3, and 4. Okay, please depend yourself before you decide what project you want to do. Okay, that is should be list in the scope there, what is targeted technology and what is targeted user. Of course, if you I just give you an example. If you talk about assistive technology, let's say you want to do some assistive technology for visual impairment or for blind person. So then, of course, what are the existing project what are the existing project that related to your project? You must list up in this background, and then what are the limitation of that project? Meaning that project don't have this one, maybe that existing project is lack of this one, and then that is why you want to solve that problem by introduce with your innovation, which is using the Arduino as well as input, some input from the sensor. You want to tackle that one, so that is how you do. Okay, and after that, okay, in your slide presentation, you must also include the chapter 2, where the chapter 2 you must include as well the flowchart. Okay, the flowchart here is just a flowchart. This is not, okay, don't get confused, this flowchart is not your programming flowchart. It's a research flowchart or project flowchart. Okay, in this flowchart you must describe how to conduct your project activities from the idea formulation until the design validation. Make sure focus on the design activity. So it's a flowchart related to your design activity, meaning that once you have the things that you want to do based on the problem that you have list up or you have list up in this chapter, and then you find out what are the activity. For example, you already, okay, of course, after you do you go through over the video lecture, you find out, okay, I want to use this sensor, I want to explore this sensor, and I want to explore, for example, this module. So that is activity, so that activity needs to be list up. Okay, in it's like a project flow. Okay, it's a like project flow chart is a project flow chart, means that first, for example, you highlight what is the problem statement, and then from there, actually, then you develop module A, and then you develop module B, and then that is the example of project flowchart. Okay, it's not similar to the flowchart, the programming flowchart that consists of some selective control structure, repetitive control structure. That is also can be here, but in general, the project flowchart should be just one way. Okay, it's just a flow showing the activity that you will do in your project. It's not the algorithm itself. Okay, and then 2.2 is a task delegation. Of course, once you have the project flowchart, you need to do some task delegation, meaning that you need to decide who will do this part, who will do this activity, and who will do that activity in within your teammates there. Okay, that is a task delegation. And then of course you must come up with the Gantt chart and milestone. This one is of course how many weeks? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 weeks for doing this project. Of course you must have a Gantt chart of that 6 weeks, what you want to do, meaning that all the activity that you list here you must include in your um, Gantt chart. Okay, I think you can find out what is Gantt chart there. And then the last one should be budgeting here. Even we only do this project online, but we assume that we are doing a physical project, meaning that let's say you want to use some sensor, and then you need to find out, okay, from the online store on, or you can find out by Google to find out the price of the sensor, the price of the Arduino, and list up all the material that you need to use for your project. Okay, it's not just the electronic component, you must also include, of course our project does not only have electronic part, you also have some mechanical part where you need to design the casing and so on. So that's why you must also include that in your budgeting. Okay, not just only the electronic component. Even later we only focus on developing the circuit and the module, the electronic part only. But in this project, the budgeting you must include all, okay, including the manpower and so on. Okay, that is the only things that you need to prepare, and you need to present. You need to prepare the slide, and then you need to present it within 15 minutes recorded video, and then you need to submit. Okay, once you finish, I give you also to submit this one during your third week of your mini project. Okay, meaning that this one is week 2 of this one. I'm sorry, this is week 7, this is week 9, and to submit as proposal slide and video presentation, you need to submit it in week 3. So meaning that when you go through this video, you don't just don't I mean don't wait until you finish learning all the video series here, then you start doing the project, okay, or the proposal. You need to, once you learn during the week 7 and during the week 8, you already start to think about what you want to do, and what uh, the project that you think you want to tackle that fulfill this condition 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so otherwise if you wait until finish this video series number 1 and series number 2, then you don't have enough time to prepare the proposal slide as well as video presentation. Because if you see the guideline is I need many components there. Okay, start from the introduction, you must have this component, and then the methodology, you have a project flow chart, then task delegation, milestone. And I think the difficult one is budgeting, because you need to find out all the components and what are the the cost for that component, as well as all the manpower to do this job. Okay. Okay, then after that, once you finish, once you submit during the week 3, I will see your video, and if I find out, okay, if I will give feedback. If I don't give feedback in your video, means that project can be done. But I just want to check whether I afraid that some group might be give some idea which is not practical to be done in using the Arduino board. So that's why I need to see your idea first. Okay, that's why once you submit the proposal video, when I check, then I might contact your group. So maybe we can do some online discussion together. Then I will gives you some advice or consultation on your project before we can proceed to do that project. Okay, so that I will do it after you submit during the week 3. Once I finalize all the things, then you need to continue doing the project, meaning that you need to do some simulation. And of course, when you need to do it using the Arduino board by using C programming. Of course, if you don't know how to do it, again, this is the video series that I already provide to you. So you need to 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 go learn from here and explore from here. And then okay, that is after visualization. You have week 9, okay, week 9 until week 13. Okay, at the week 13, okay, before the week 13, of course, this is the duration for you to complete your project. Once you complete your project at the week 13, you need to submit a final report and video demonstration of your project. Okay, you must demonstrate the simulation circuit that you done in your project. So in final project report, this is the guideline or the rubrics. So let's go to the rubrics. Okay, this is the final project okay, guideline or rubrics. Okay, in final project, what you need to prepare is a report. Don't prepare slide. Okay, the slide, you don't have to prepare the slide. What you need to prepare during the video presentation is only for some demonstration of your working or functioning circuit. Okay, so in final design report, if you see the contents there, it's almost similar with your proposal. Okay, chapter 1 and chapter 2 of your proposal is similar to the final design project. So that's why once you do in the slide here, later you can translate or you can extend this information, chapter 1 and chapter 2, to prepare your report. That is for final report, because in final report the spec here is similar. So you can see in introduction, this is what I want. Chapter 2 also what we want. What is similar, meaning the project chapter 2, this is what we want, which is similar to the project proposal. But as you can see, the mark there is 0. That is why this is 0, because this one is already counted here. Okay, because I already counted here the mark. So that's why chapter 1 and chapter 2 for your report, I will not I will not mark, but you need to prepare. Again, a complete report must have chapter 1 and chapter 2. That's why you need to also prepare chapter 1 and chapter 2. Even there's no mark there, because I already I already grade your mark when I do some marking at this project proposal. Okay, so then chapter 1, chapter 2, you already have the content. Then you must continue with the chapter 3. So in chapter 3, this is the main part of your project. We have a project design, implementation, and operate. So here you must list up what are the top level architecture, meaning that if you are using sensor, you must do a structural block diagram of your product, means that the top level, so what is the, and then the low level, what is it consists of, how many sensor, and so on. So you must do some top level architecture. It's just it's like a chart. Okay, a chart that consists of for example, if you are using a sensor, then you need to draw this is block sensor. Inside that block sensor, what sensor you are using, and then you have some Arduino, and then you have some output. So you draw it in a block way. And then second topic is a system workflow. Okay, system workflow here, from the from you must how you must describe how your system work. Okay, draw a top level flowchart to show its underlying system behavior. Means that once you design or you draw your top level architecture, this is 3.2 is about to describe how it's work. Okay, how the system works. Okay, here actually you don't have to draw your Arduino. You just put your Arduino in form of block. You said this is Arduino, and then let's say sensor, you don't have to draw your sensor. You just put a block. This is my sensor. Just put it. For example, that block is heart rate sensor. This block is temperature sensor, and then you just draw that. That is what I call what is mean by top level architecture. Then the system workflow, you need to describe the how it's functioning. that 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 architectures, okay, how it's functioning in order to execute this innovation that you already did there. Okay, and then 3.3, then you need to describe more detail about the two input that you decide to be used in your system. Okay, again, I said in our condition there, this project must have at least two inputs. So if you in your project, if you have more than two, okay, I will give you 3 mark, but if you only have a two input, I give you 2 mark. And of course, this one you need to describe in detail how that function, that how that sensor is functioning. If we talk about the input, one of it is a sensor, so you must talk about that sensor and how it's functioning. So same goes to the output port. Okay, we have two output port, but if you give more than two, I give you 3 mark. If you only have two, I only give you 2 mark. Okay, so again, okay, so for two input port, okay, this is some mistake that I put there. Okay, the two input port, actually you also need to list out, okay, list out all the output port and describe the functioning of the output port one by one. Okay, the input port you must also have one by one to list up all one by one input port, and this one also you need to discuss about one by one output port, how it's functioning. And then after that, then you can discuss the overall functioning, which is the final prototype, whereby integrating this input and output, then you can describe how it's functioning in order for it operate, and to show that your innovation is working. Okay, just integrate all together. Okay, at this section, so I will give that 2 mark. Okay, and then chapter number 4 is about the result. Okay, in result, then you can discuss about the functional and verification. Okay, here at here you just describe the function. You don't show the simulation yet. Okay, you don't show any result yet. You just show to me that each function of the input port or sensor, each function of or how the process work for output port there one by one. So describe one by one, and then you also describe how when you integrate between input and output, it's you produce your prototype, okay, by integrating there, and how the overall working prototype is work. Okay, but these three element here, you just show the how it function. You don't show the result yet, the result how it's function. But in chapter 4, you need to show the result one by one, meaning that is related to these three elements there. These three elements, how to show its work, you must show in this result here, means that you need to do some print screen of the working functioning, meaning just to show the proof that your system is functioning correctly one by one. Because I believe by using Arduino, I'm using Tinkercad simulator called Tinkercad, because we will later using a Tinkercad. Okay, if you integrate a complete, because once you integrate all the input and output port module, I'm sure some of you might see that their circuit is not working, okay, because of limitation of the simulator. So that's why it's very important for you to, when you explain this one, you must explain module by module. If you in your project you have two input, then you need to explain how that two input is functioning. Okay, then this, if your project have two output, then you must explain how that two output is functioning. And then before you can describe how the whole system functioning when you integrate both two input and port and two output port together at this final prototype. So because later when you try to report on the result here, you can show module by module. If you have a two input, then each input you must show the result, and each output also you must show the result. So then later we can see what happens there, and then again that is marked there, meaning that if you manage to show each module is working, that is marked, because at the end some of you might not successful in developing their innovation, but at least you can showing that you can simulate and it work very well for each and every input and output port module. That can be, you can obtain mark from there. Okay, so that this purple font there, I put a purple font. This actually related to your video demonstration. Okay, if you remember, this guideline, you must prepare two things. One is a final design report, another one is a video demonstration and presentation. This one is actually video demonstration and presentation, and video demonstration is related to this purple font here. Okay, because this purple font, you need to, this one is related to this one as well. Okay, this one actually is related to this one, 3.3 up into 3.5, as well as this one. Okay, for 4.1. 4.1, you only print screen and you put all the print screen result in your report. But this one, I want you to, record the live simulation. Okay, I mean, when you do a live simulation, then you need to record that simulation, and then you must compile that simulation as well as some description about the project. Just you need to explain. For example, you have two input port in your project, then you need to explain that two input port is working. Then I give you 3 mark. Again, if you have more than 2 input port, I give you 4 mark. And then this one is if the port is working correctly, and then I give you the mark directly. Means that 2 port, then you get 3 mark. Same goes this to this one. 2 output port, you get 3 mark. And then if the final prototype is working, after you integrate and you show the simulation and it's working, I give you another 2 mark. So this video demonstration must be provided, and it should be not more than 10 minutes duration. And also you must include some introduction of your project and how it's functioning, because otherwise when you just show me the module, okay, the input module as well the output module and the final prototype module, even the prototype simulation, because I'm not sure what you are doing, because I need to put some effort to find your report and so on, to see what are you doing. So it's very difficult for me. So that's why before you show to me in your video there that's your module is working, please make sure you do some introduction there to explain about the title of your project and how it's functioning before you explain about this working 2 input port and 2 output port and the final prototype. Okay, and then the last chapter should be the conclusions there. Okay, in the conclusion, this is the element that you need to do. You need to find out what are the summary and the product benefit, your product benefit, and then limitation and weakness, and some recommendation for future work. So I hope by explains how to conduct the mini project, you have a clear information about it. And if you still have some information yet that you could not understand, you can ask me in our WhatsApp group there.